Welcome back, guys. This is Lindsay and this is Linda's Investing, and today I bring you another video of one of my deals that I did in Gary. If you don't remember me or you don't know or you're new in this channel, I'm Lindsay. I live in California. I invest out of state in Gary, Indiana for the last 2 years, going on 3 years actually. So less of a rookie now, I would say. So in past videos I talked about buying traditionally, buying through seller finance, buying off market through wholesalers and others. So I think that 2024 was a pretty hard year for real estate. Looking back now, I think if there was anything like a recession, then 2024 was it, because I was able to scoop up deals that I don't see happening in this year, 2025. So it's pretty different right now. Like when I look at Gary, the market of Gary, since I started investing, the entry level house price point was somewhere between the lines of like 70,000 to 100,000 for a turnkey, ready to live in. So pretty affordable for the average person, and pretty an easier point for an investor to break into the market. This year, 2025, we had interest rates in the sixes to sevens for the actually almost 2 years now. So it seems like people are more comfortable with these interest rates. And then so when Gary grew us, I don't know if it's total credit to Millennial Mike or Maskey Finance, but when Gary grew, investors like such as myself, there has been a lot of influx into the market. There's a lot of supply that's calmed down, which it seems like investors have flipped homes and renovated homes to sell and to rent. So we've seen a lot of influx from a lot of supply, which is resonating now with the majority of the country, in which there is a lot of supply, not a lot of buyers, not a lot of demand. So resulting in a buyer's market right now. But last year, I believe last year people were more holding on to their money as waiting for, aka the presidency, to come and drop rates or finishing, elections in November. So it seems like to me that more deals were coming up last year. And I'm not actively looking to, not very hard, so maybe it isn't. But this is just my stance and my perception, my opinion. So last year there was a house number 9 that I bought, was like actually house number 10. Yeah, house number 10 that I bought. I had already done traditional, like I mentioned, seller finance and off market and all those things, but after buying multiple burrs last year, I decided to buy something that was less work and more so ready to rent. So I found this house and the zip code of 46409, and actually was eyeing it for a while. It went into the market on 2024, November 2024. It was listed initially at 99,000. And like you will remember what I was saying, that 70 to 100 would be like a rental ready. So this house, even though it wasn't in a zip code in my buy box, is still pretty much high, because if you can see, it needed some renovations. It was pretty much outdated. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but pretty much outdated, and so it wasn't selling right away. So I saw the price drop significantly for November 1st to like November 19, down to 79,000, and that's like a 20K drop. So which that told me, since I was looking at my market every day, which is what you're supposed to do when you're trying to invest in real estate in a specific area, running your buy box every day, that was a quite 20% drop, like right, for 99,000 to 79,000. And I'm like, oh, this piqued my interest, right? So I talked to my realtor, which, get a realtor that's investor friendly, get a realtor in your area, somebody that you trust, somebody that you work with, or at least has been referred to you by other investors. I talked to my realtor and I was like, let's go and see it. So he sent me videos and he sent me pictures and he walked it and decided this house probably needs about $10,000 to $20,000 worth of rehab, which is like compared to what the deals that we're doing now on Burst is significantly better. But go check out those videos if you haven't. Rehab to the stats, but. So $10,000 to $20,000. So I was just like, okay, well, even if I put $10,000 to $20,000 into this house, I am going to be fine. So I put an offer for $70,000 actually. If you don't remember, it was listed for $79,000 and they accepted. So I $70,000 plus $20,000 in rehab, that's like $90,000 in for a rental ready property, right? My goal with this house was not to do a BRRRR to move my money out of the deal. My goal was to buy the deal conventionally too. Why? Because I was out of cash, and at this time, December of last year, it was had all this money tied up into rehabs that I was doing. So I had 20% down to put down. So actually 25% down to put down because my debt to income ratio was high. So I couldn't really push that 20% down. But anyways, went through the inspection, went through everything, pretty much checked out minus the garage. The garage just structurally was compromised, which after we found out structurally compromised, then I was able to negotiate even further down the price of the house. I got a credit and then I was able to negotiate the price down. I think I got a credit of 2.5% of that loan. So was 60, the price went down to 66,000. So I was able to from 70 to 66,000 because of the garage. And because there was a motivated seller, I'm not sure I knew the implications of the motivating seller, but closer to after inspection, we found out that the realtor actually owned the house that we were purchasing it from. So that was interesting because it seems like he wanted to have the sale quickly, which worked out for me. So this house sold to me for $66,000, and because my debt to income ratio was high, the lender that I use, shout out Jerry Padilla, Prime Lending. If you want any information, just DM me and I'll send them this information. But 25% I had to put down, so that was around $16,582. And closing costs was something around the area of $6,000 for a total of $22,582. And I ended up putting into rehab about $14,000 into this house for an estimated out of pocket $36,582. And then you may be thinking like, whoa, you put a lot of money down for this house to be rented out. Yes, I did. And the reason for that was because of the cash on cash return. So if you look at this chart here, my interest rate was 7.3. This was a conventional loan that I purchased the house with. My loan amount, since the purchase price had dropped, was about $49,745, right? We have taxes, insurance, property manager, but look at this. All in together at $608, but I can rent out the house for $1,450. So $600, $1,450. That's like $900 or so in the cash flow. Obviously, after all expenses on $600 pocket into my pocket, for a cash return of 20%. And I have the possibility of like cash out refinance in the future because I did put work into the house, meaning flooring, re-updo the bathrooms, re-updo the bedroom, and the kitchen as well. and we got rid of some safety things. But yeah, this deal was a home run in terms of cash flow, and my 36,000 still locked up in that house. If I wanted to cash out refi, not like, I wouldn't say it's a burr. Maybe I would say it's a burr. But if you wanted to cash out rehab, I can go and have the house reappraised, which by my calculations, this house will reappraise at $120,000 because I bought it so under market and I put so much work into it. Maybe not because of the garage, because it's still, the garage we boarded out and I didn't want to put a new garage, which is something that I would consider to do if I'm going to try to get those $36,000 out of the deal. But at this point, not looking forward to that. As of right now, August 8, interest rates are still pretty much not sure what's going on with that. So 6.5 it looks like FHA is at today. But, DSCR, like, my debt to income ratio is pretty high right now. So all I can do is cash out DSCR loan. But that's something I might want to check into later. But that cash flow is still pretty much very nice. Another thing that I'm seeing in my market is I have two vacancies, and properties are not renting as fast as they are before. So that's a challenge that I'm walking into this year. Not so much last year and this year, but this year there is a difference, and like properties are sitting longer. I do get applicants through my property manager. There's applicants, but they don't meet the qualifications and bare minimum qualifications that we have. So houses are not renting as quickly, which I'm holding on to for that. But this is house number 10, and this is basically proof that there's still significantly cash on cash return on deals that you can look to. This was on the market. This was negotiation down from the price, negotiation down from the credits, negotiation down after founding inspections. I would say that if you're into this video all the way up here, 12 minutes now, I would think that there's still pretty much opportunity in Gary. I would say your stronger negotiation point is after inspection, because you're always going to find something during inspection. So either if you negotiate a price reduction or a credit, which I would rather very much as an investor negotiate a credit than a price reduction, because it lowers your money out of pocket. So if we look into terms of like cash on cash return, it's whatever you're putting money on the deal that will give you a return. If you put less money, then that return will widen. So I would say that, and other people would say like, why are you looking up 36,000 into this house, where in a different video, 30,000 got you 3 houses via seller finance? And the reason for this is because now I have that ARB, right? Like I'm adding value into this property. So I'm pushing so much into this property to raise the property value. And then so it gives me another way if I could get that money out if I was to refinance. I wanted to make it as beneficial to me as I can. The equity is built up in there. Even if the house appraises for $100K, I'm still, from the purchase price from $66K to $100K, I'm still benefiting greatly from that money that I put into that, right? I will be able to get all my money out. But if I, fix up the garage, then the house will probably appraise for more than $100K. But that doesn't mean my money is gone. Like it's still pretty much there. And like I said in the beginning of the video, entry price points for these houses are going up. And so Gary and the market is changing in a bit too. There is a convention center that's coming. We have a Hard Rock Casino Hotel There is a convention center that is breaking ground this year that's going to be built, and I believe 46408, the zip code. There is talks, I'm not sure, I haven't seen literature on this, but there is talks of a Starbucks coming to Miller Beach, which is pretty great. Not if you look at Gary, a population of like 85,000 people, it doesn't look like such big news that Starbucks is coming, but it is quite a big news, because if you look at Starbucks metrics for coming into a town, then they have to have very strong indicators that there's actually, people that are gonna come and then spend time and spend money at a Starbucks. So there has to be foot traffic, there has to be other things. So that's also happening. I have noticed another trend of like properties appraising higher, therefore increasing property taxes. So that's something that I'm dealing with too, which means to me I have to have way more meat on those bones, right? So I have to have those deals that are significantly bringing me cash flow, and this is the market for that. So there's also a lot of people looking at it and then seeing what's available in the market and what's available for rent already, and they thinking there's no cash flow. But I would say to those people that look to force value into the market as well, which also brings more investors into the market anyways. But yeah, this is my deal number 10, and currently we closed January, I believe we closed in January 2025 or something like that. So currently I'm staying put and not doing more renovations. I mean, I do have one more rehab to finish. I still one rehab to finish in Gary, but I'm not doing actively looking for deals or searching. I'm always looking on my buy box, yes, but I'm not actively buying right now because I decided to do an ADU in my house, in my primary residence in Los Angeles. So all of that's consuming most of this year's money and time. So that's some information for a different video. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions about this deal, if you like to see have me refer you to anybody, and like and subscribe if you like to hear more.